Dr. Isley? Pamela? You look great. Especially for a dead woman.
Hello, Jason. I think I've had a change of heart. Literally. The animal plant toxins had a rather unique effect on me. They replaced my blood with aloe, my skin with chlorophyll, and filled my lips with venom. Oh, and Jason, one other thing. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I'm poisoned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the Monster Mash series. I hope that you guys are enjoying these. Today's look is Poison Ivy. This is my little take on her. I hope that you guys like this one. If you guys want to see how I did this, then just keep watching. So as you guys can see, I did do the little cut right here on the face. I did not show you guys how I did it because I just saw a couple of videos and I kind of just went with what I thought was right. But I'm going to link those videos down below so you guys can follow them. This is my first time doing this kind of thing here. So I would suggest that you guys watch those videos before. And then what I used is the Mehron Makeup Extra Flesh Fake Skin, which looks like this. This is a little bit hard to manipulate. It's really sticky, so it's hard to manipulate a little bit. And then to set it, did use also from Mehron. This is the Fixative A is what I used to set that, and also their powder that looks like this. And it's just a translucent powder. You can probably use any powder. If you guys are interested in this, I actually bought a kit and it looks like this. So this is the stuff that comes in the kit. Just in case you're wondering, that's what I've been using. If you guys remember the last video with blood and stuff, that's the stuff that comes in the kit. In case you are curious or want to do anything like this, that's the kit that I use from Mehron, and it's just called the Special Effects All Pro Makeup Kit. And like I said, all this stuff that's in here comes in the box. Comes with a lot of cool stuff. So I'm gonna use the palette that actually came in that same kit to do this part of the face for the foundation. This one right here, you guys have seen me use it in the other videos. I'm just gonna grab something that I think is close to my skin tone. You can even mix these together to create your own color, whatever you want. Or you can just use regular foundation too if you wanted to. But that's what I'm gonna use just because it's gonna cover up a little bit better, I think, than my regular foundation. So I'm gonna use these. And I am gonna just mix a couple of colors, I think, to make the foundation color. So I'm gonna use this little mixer here. Just gonna grab a little bit with this. I'm gonna grab from here to, I think, come up with the color that is fitting. So there's the two colors that I picked, and then I just mixed them here with this. For this, I am going to use a beauty blender instead of a brush for this part because I think it's gonna look more seamless and it's gonna be easier. If we need to, we'll grab a little bit of a brush to go into like the parts where all the weird like cut part is. This one is not wet at all. I don't want it to be wet. Just so you know, I'm just gonna go in, grab the color, and put it on my face. We're not gonna put it on this side because this side is gonna be a whole different color. I think I might grab a brush just to go a little bit over it, like a smaller one. Just don't like how it's coming out for some reason. I still don't like it. Okay, that's better. So I did go ahead and put my foundation over it. I don't think that this set all the way, even after I put powder on it. So either I didn't do it right or this stuff just doesn't work very well. Most likely I didn't do it right. It goes to show you that you won't get it right the first time. Obviously, like I said, this is my first time trying it. Hopefully the look comes out good at the end, but for now I'm gonna leave it, and if not, we'll do something with it. Anyways, I did just use this. This is the E.L.F. Camo CC cream for this part of the face, and I'm going to do my eyebrows here real quick on this part, not on this side, but I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrow here and then set this with powder, and then I'll come back and continue doing the look. Okay, so I'm back with my eyebrow. I did set the face on this side. Now we're just gonna, you know, do a regular makeup like we would on this side. So I'm going to just grab a bronzer here. Any bronzer will do. Color back into this face. And of course I'm gonna put blush. Some highlighter, and of course we're gonna do a little bit of a green eyeshadow on this side. Just gonna use greens for this look. Any green will work, whatever you have. It doesn't have to be necessarily what I'm using. In case you're wondering, I'm using this E.L.F and Jkissa palette. I'm gonna use the greens in here, and then I'm also gonna use this one from the ColourPop Hocus Pocus collection and use the greens in here, that one and that one. Just so you knew, Poison Ivy is very glamorous when she is alive, obviously. So we are going to do that on this part of the face. Start with the bright green first. Now we're gonna make it just a tad bit darker. I'm gonna go in with this here, and it's like a gold and green, if you guys can see that. And I'm just gonna kind of cut the crease with this. I'm not gonna actually cut the crease, just like pretend I'm cutting the crease. I'm gonna grab a clean brush and kind of just blend that out a little bit. And I'm gonna just leave my eye like this closed for a little bit so that it can dry up. Then with my finger, I am gonna add more on top. Like you can see it a little bit more. I'm gonna leave it like that. And for the lower lash line, I am gonna use this one. This is from Fixative by Petra, and it is in the shade Sage Gold. And I'm just gonna put that on the lower lash line here. Okay, now that I have that on the waterline, I'm gonna go on the bottom with that darker green shade that I used here. And then to smoke out that lower lash line, I am going to grab the lighter green that I used on the top here. Just like that. So now that we have the pretty side, glamour side done, we are going to move to this side. This side is our twisted version of Poison Ivy, where she poisoned herself. Her skin is melting off her face. She's been mean and she didn't realize that her little experiment went wrong, and so she melted her face off. Right? So for that, we are going to go back in again with liquid latex. FYI on this, please, please, please test out a strip of your face first before using this. I haven't had anything too bad of a reaction to it. I think my skin's just breaking out because of all the paint that I'm using on my face. It's not necessarily this. So just make sure that you are testing out a piece of your skin first, just to make sure that you're gonna be fine and this is not gonna have a reaction to your skin. I'm gonna go in and we're gonna put it all over this part of the face. If you guys remember my Freddy Krueger last year, that's what we're doing here. It's gonna look like that, but I'm gonna paint the face afterward, after this is on, and then we'll create like her skin is melting off, kind of like burning off her face. But like I said, please, please test out a piece of skin before putting it all over your face. Same goes with anything, even the other thing that I used here. I don't think I'm going to use this again. I am not a fan. I still feel like it's still wet and it's still moving. It doesn't feel like it's even dry. So there's my review on that. Don't like it, won't use it again. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to here. Just going to grab a brush like this and then start painting random spots here and there. I'm not going to put it on my actual eye itself. I'm going to put it around it, but not really on my eye. FYI, this stuff doesn't smell very good either, so just so you know, it does not smell good. And it does dry up pretty quick, so once you have the spots down where you want your scarring to go, make sure that you go in and split the skin, because afterwards it's a little bit harder to break the skin, make it look like it's breaking off. I did block my eyebrows. I am gonna put a little bit on there, not too much. I haven't had anything happen where my eyebrows fall off with this stuff. Also be cautious of that. So now that it is like this, you guys will see in a little bit it'll start getting like almost clear looking, and that's when we're gonna go in and like take off the parts that we want. By the way, you guys can probably hear the kids in the background. They're in the living room being loud, so just FYI, if you guys can hear that, I'm sorry, but I gotta film when they're around because there's no other way for me to film except when they're sleeping, and I kind of need to get some sleep. So these take too long for me to actually do it when they're sleeping, so I try to do it. Okay, so now you guys see how it's getting dry. You're just gonna pull it. It doesn't hurt. CJ starts making noises like it hurts, but it really doesn't hurt. Little baby. See how this is already dry right here? Like that part is going to be harder to open just because it's already dry, like I said. So it's a little bit harder to get the hole open where you want it, that kind of thing. Same thing here. But all you do is pull the little things. They're not really that hard. They look like it's hard, but it's really not. Create another hole here. It's all about playing with it, really. You guys see now it's creating like that little stuff. And of course we're gonna make details for it to look like it's actually burning off. There's like skin, you know, blood, all of that good stuff. We'll do all that. Also, by the way, this smells horrible, just in case you didn't know, you've never used liquid latex before. It smells pretty bad. If you're sensitive to smells, then I probably suggest you don't use it. I'm gonna bring it in closer so you guys can see how I do this part, and then after that I'm gonna come back with the rest of it done. That way you're not sitting through this part, because once you know how to do it one time, you don't really need to know how to do it again and again. So I'm just gonna bring you guys in closer so you guys see how I do this part. Now that you guys are close, you guys see that's pretty much getting dry there. You can start pulling stuff. It does not hurt, like I said. Just make sure you're not pinching your skin, of course. You're kind of just going over it. Don't let it get this dry, because then it won't do what you want it to do. Kind of just pulling that up and around into like random circles per se. They can look different. They don't have to all look the same. So you just pinch a little bit of it with the tweezers, then you just start making the holes. And like I said, it doesn't really hurt. It just feels like it's pulling on your skin. Of course, this is not the best thing for skincare, so you gotta make sure that you are doing your skincare and all of that good stuff after you do something like this, because you're really pulling on your skin. But you guys get the gist of it. Making like little holes here and there. They don't all have to look the same. But you guys see how I'm doing that, just pulling it out. If you rip it, that's okay, that's what we want. So you guys see all that randomness there. That piece actually looks pretty cool there, because it's like pulling off the nose there. Okay, so that's how I do that. You guys see that? I'm gonna go off camera and do the rest of the face, and I will be right back. We are back with this side all melted. I'm gonna go ahead and do the like foundation, I guess, but it's not really going to be a foundation. I'm going to make it a different color. Let's make her a little bit green, since she is poison ivy. I mean, makes sense to make her green. To come up with the green shade that we want, I'm going to use the same foundation that I used earlier, and then grab a little bit of the green in here, this one, and maybe a little bit of the white, because I don't want it to be super green, just like a little hint of green. So I'm just going to go in with my little spatula here, grab a little bit of green to mix it in there. Then also a little bit of the white to mix it in with that. And then I'm just going to grab my 3 shades there, so it's not too green but not too like foundation-y, if that makes sense. I want a hint of green, but not super green. Kind of like a zombie green, I guess. So there we have our green. So it's kind of like a zombie green. I'm gonna use my little sponge here and just start putting it on my face. And if it covers the holes, that's fine. You can still see them through there. I'm gonna cover up all of it. Even this part. We're not gonna cover up this line here because we're gonna do something else there. But I'd cover everything else up. Okay, so I kind of did turn a little bit more green than I wanted to, but that's okay. You'll still be able to see the holes I know right now on camera you probably can't see them all that much, but it kind of does look like it's melting off. So we're gonna do details inside those holes and all of that once I get all of this on. So if you guys look closely, you see like the skin is melting off. That's what I wanted. And then we're gonna do something on the eye. Hopefully it works out the way that I envision it. So there is the face melting off. So now we're gonna go in and put some details on those holes. Since the skin is burning, obviously melting off, we are going to make some red wounds. And we're gonna be using this little wheel here. It also comes in that kit that I showed you. So that's what I'm gonna be using. And I'm just gonna grab a regular brush for this part, and I'm gonna start putting this on the holes here. So now I know it looks just like random circles. But the details is what's gonna make it come to life or dead. We're gonna grab a little bit of the black here, and the black is actually gonna go on some parts of here. Like I said, just adding detail to these, really just to the part, the top part, where you want more depth in the skin. That's why we're adding the black. It's funny because they just look weird right now because there's not much detail going on. But there will be here in a little bit. So they just look like holes with black stuff in it. I want the skin around this little thing to look like it's raised. So we are going to add a little bit of shading to that. Let me grab a small enough brush so we can go in there in detail. I'm gonna grab the brown in here, this one that looks kind of like a brown red shade, and I'm gonna tap out the excess of it. I don't want it to be too much, just a little bit. So we're gonna go around that part on this side of it so it looks a little more raised, like the skin is a little bit more raised. And if it's like tapping motions, that's okay because we want it to look that way. I'm definitely not using this stuff again to make that cut there. I didn't like it. It's still not set even after I have tried to set it with powder. I tried to set it with the stuff that came in the kit, so I don't think I'm going to be using that again. There is a wax that I might use for a different look, but I didn't like that one, so that won't be used again because it's not working the way I want it. And it's still coming out. If you guys can see that, it's like coming off as I'm trying to shade it a little bit. That's kind of a bummer that it didn't work out very well, but you live and you learn. Yeah, it definitely didn't set. Whenever I go close to it with my brush, it keeps picking it up. It didn't work out as good as I wanted it to. Not even the raised part looks that cool. Once I put the blood in it, maybe it'll look better, but as of right now, I don't like that stuff. Now I'm just gonna use a brush to put on the blood in the center. I'm gonna be using this one. This is the Squirt Blood, this kind of stuff. I'm gonna be using that on the center of it here. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna add a little bit of brown here to this, a little bit of shading in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna add more blood. This is the stage blood. It's a little bit thicker than the other blood that I just used. It also comes in that same kit. And I'm just gonna grab it with this thing here. It just looks like this. You guys can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna start adding it in random spots here. So put a little bit of blood on the little wounds there. And I'm gonna add a little bit of these colors here from this. Add the green and the yellow a little bit. her look a little bit more green, a little bit yellow. We're gonna attempt to add leaves here. I don't know if it's gonna work, but maybe. So I went off camera. I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing, but what I did is I just added these leaves onto my eyelid, and I used the liquid latex to glue them down. These are leftover from my costume. I'll show you guys here in a bit for the outfit part. I am wearing another shirt underneath of it once I wear it, so you guys will see, but you guys can wear it without it. It's really low cut. So I am gonna be wearing a green shirt underneath of it, but you guys will see what I mean. If you guys are like me and don't really like the whole low cut kind of thing, then you can do that, or you can just wear the thing. I'll link it down below, and I did buy it off of Amazon. The leaves I just got at Walmart, and yeah, that's all I did. And then I added a little bit of the lips here. I used two different tones of red. I used this one from ColourPop. This is the Luxe Velvet one. This is the shade Daily Dose, and then I added this from Anastasia as well. This is in the shade Heathers. So these two here, darkest right in the center, the lighter one, and I kind of just patted it on instead of actually putting it on with the wand. And then I kind of just moved it out a little bit, made some squiggly line, and then on the leaves, it just, like I said, glued them down, and then I added a little bit of blood on them, so that made the look. You guys can see my eyeballs still there. But yeah, that's what I did with that. I'm gonna add the outfit and the wig, and I will be right back. So I went and I put on the wig, some jewelry, because you guys know, if you guys don't know, she is into jewelry and big diamonds and that kind of thing. So I added this little thing on here. I added a ring, some earrings, this wig. This one's from Insert Name here, where I usually get my wigs. You guys have heard me talk about that place before. And then I did add the little leotard thingy majigger. Looks like this. Like I said, it's really like V-shape. You can't really see too much because of the leaves, but I did add the leaves to this. The leotard doesn't come with it, but it is like a velvet kind of thing, and that's what it looks like. And then, like I said, I just added the leaves here. I just did it with hot glue, and then added the leaves from Walmart that I bought. But yeah, that's what it looks like, and that is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. This one was a little bit annoying just because of this part, that it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it, but it still looks pretty cool, I think. Definitely wouldn't recommend that thing that I used at the beginning to do this part, this right here, because it's very sticky and it does not dry down. Right now it's actually kind of falling apart, so I'm not a big fan of it. You guys see that right here, like it's a little messed up there, but that's the stuff, really sticky, so I wouldn't recommend that. Definitely use the wax or just use shading and stuff like that to create this little like raised skin part, but it didn't really work as well as I wanted it to. But other than that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this look, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Toodles!